Economy news for the month of October 2024. Current account deficit widens to 9.7 billion in April-June quarter. In the April-June 2024 quarter, India's current account deficit increased to 9.7 billion or 1.1% of GDP, up from 8.9 billion in Q1 fiscal year 2024, according to the Reserve Bank of India. This marginal widening is attributed to rise in a merchandise trade deficit, which expanded to 65.1 billion from 56.7 billion in the previous year. The CAD has recorded a surplus of 4.6 billion in the previous January-March quarter. On 1st October, IBPS to celebrate its 8th annual day. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India celebrates its 8th annual day on 1st October 2024. Senior officers of the government and regulatory bodies will grace the occasion. Over the past 8 years, the IBC has significantly accelerated the resolution of insolvency cases. Finance Minister introduced new norms for handling delayed tax refund claims. The Ministry of Finance has released comprehensive guidelines to streamline the handling of delayed tax refund claims and loss carry-forward applications. These guidelines aim to reduce bureaucratic delays, especially in cases where taxpayers missed filing their income tax returns but had refunds due. A tied authority system and scientific time limits have been introduced, making the process smoother and quicker. GST collections in September 2024 slowest growth in 40 months. India's gross goods and services taxes collection hits a month low in September 2024, growing by just 6.5% to 1.73 lakh crore. Net GST receipts rose by 3.9%, marking the slowest growth in the current financial year. Despite this, net collection were marginally up by 1.5% compared to August. The slowdown is attributed to weaker revenue growth from domestic transaction, and imports through imports saw a growth of 8%. GST refunds surged significantly, with overall refunds rising 31% compared to a 38% rise in August. India's forex reserves surpassed 700 billion milestone for the first year. India's foreign exchange reserves has exceeded 700 billion for the first time, reaching 704.89 billion in the week ending September 27, 2024. This marks a record increase of 12.58 billion, with foreign currency asset rising by 10.4 billion to 616 billion and gold reserves increasing by 2 billion to 65.7 billion. The surge is attributed to RBI's dollar purchase and favorable valuation adjustment, driven by declining US Treasury yield, a weakening dollar and rising gold prices. Employment in India up by 36%, Centre reports. India has witnessed significant employment growth over the years, with employment increasing by nearly 36%, adding around 17 million jobs during 2016-2017 and 2022-2023. India's economic trajectory demonstrates sustained job creation across key sectors, with a robust democracy, dynamic economy and a culture that celebrates unity in diversity. India's journey towards becoming a global powerhouse continues to inspire the world. UP's rural women drive Rs 27,000 crore in financial transactions. Enterprising rural women in Uttar Pradesh working as BC Sakis have facilitated Rs 27,000 crore in financial transaction over the past 4.5 years. BC Sakis, appointed under a national-wide women empowerment initiative, are part of a self-help group providing banking services in rural unbanked areas. Uttar Pradesh leads the nation in the number of BC Sakis, followed by Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. These women have earned Rs 75 crore in commission, making significant contribution to financial inclusion. RBI Monetary Policy Meeting 2024 repo rate unchanged and other key outcomes. The Reserve Bank of India has decided to keep the repo rate unchanged at 6.5% for the 10th consecutive year. This decision reflects a shift in the monetary policy stance from withdrawal of accommodation to neutral, As a result, all external benchmark lending rates linked to the repo rate will remain stable, providing relief to borrowers as their equated monthly installment will not rise. RBI intervention stabilized rupee below 84 against the dollar. The Indian rupee has now shown resilience against the US dollar, settling at 83.97 due to the active intervention from the Reserve Bank of India. Despite ongoing pressure from foreign portfolio outflows, rising crude oil prices and a strengthening dollar index, the RBI strategies have kept the rupee from breaching the philosophically significant 84 mark. Market experts believe that RBI's presence in various currencies market have been crucial in preventing a sharp depreciation. Wholesale inflation rises to 1.84% in September, food prices surge. India's wholesale price inflation increased to 1.84% in September 2024, up from 1.31% in August, driven by a sharp rise in food prices according to data from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. This surge was primarily due to a spike in vegetable prices, with onion, potato and tomato costs rising by 78.8%, 78.1% and 74.5% respectively. The food price inflation rose to 11.53% from 3.11% in August, marking a 2-year high. Despite declaration in other categories such as fuel and manufactured products, food price inflation led the overall increase. Global public debt set to exceed 100 trillion warns IMF. According to a report released by the International Monetary Fund, the world's total public debt is poised to surpass 100 trillion this year for the first time. The IMF warns that this figure may rise even more rapidly than previously anticipated, driven by political sentiment, favorable increased spending and the growing borrowing needs associated with slow economic growth. India's economic growth projected at 7 to 7.2% for fiscal year 25. Deloitte, India's largest economic outlook, projects that India's economy will grow between 7% and 7.2% in the fiscal year 24-25. Despite a recent slowdown where GDP expanded by only 6.7% year-on-year in Q1 of fiscal year 25. This growth is driven by favorable domestic conditions including strong manufacturing activity, stable oil prices and anticipated easing of US monetary policy, which could boost capital inflows. The Reserve Bank of India supports this outlook with a growth projection of 7.2%, reflecting confidence in India's economic resilience. IMF maintains India's GDP growth at 7% for fiscal year 25, 6.5% for fiscal year 26. The International Monetary Fund has maintained its growth projections for India, forecasting the economy to expand by 7% in fiscal year 25 and 6.5% in fiscal year 26. According to the IMF, the post-pandemic recovery fueled by pent-up demand has largely run its course as the economy now aligns with its potential growth trajectory. This steady outlook reflects India's resilience amid global economic uncertainties. NIPFB lowers India's fiscal year 25 GDP growth estimate to 6.9 to 7.1%. The National Institute of Public Finance and Policy has revised its growth forecast for India to 6.9 to 7.1% for fiscal year 25, citing a notable moderation in growth during the June quarter. This slowdown is attributed to a significant contraction in net exports and reduced government consumption due to implementation of the Model Code of Conduct. Mudra loan limit doubled to Rs 20 lakhs, a boost for entrepreneurs. The government has doubled the limit of Mudra loans under the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana from Rs 10 lakh to Rs 20 lakhs, introducing a new Tarun Plus category. This change, announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in her July 2024 budget speech, aims to promote entrepreneurship and support emerging business owners. The increase is designed to empower budding entrepreneurs who have successfully repaid previous loans under the exciting Tarun category, furthering the government's commitment to funding the unfunded. Drop in India's foreign exchange reserves to 688.26 billion. India's foreign exchange reserves decreased by 2.163 billion, bringing the total of 688.267 billion for the week ending October 18, as reported by the Reserve Bank of India. This decline follows a significant drop of 10.746 billion in the previous week, marking one of the largest reductions in reserves in recent times. Thank you.